Hey guys, how is everybody doing? It's been the last day, the last academic day of the year, and I thought I'd just sit down and I start talking to you about what the year has been about for me, at least during my masters. And maybe if there's somebody else who is also doing his masters, they can also share their experiences in the group. Hey Tanuj. So, like, again, this was a completely unplanned stream, but I just thought, let me just sit down and talk to my folks about it. Because I think people generally have a really different perception of how masters is going to be and how it actually turns out to be. So we have some people joining up. Hey Tanuj, Chandan Goda. Let me just give the shout outs real quick. Nikhil Singh, Shadow Gamer, Abhi Sharma, Sai, Syed Arshad, Abhi Sharma, Englandia, Vishwa, Swapnil Yenpure, Raymond. Hey Rayman, how are you doing? Vikas, Lionel. Alright, so we have some watchers, and I wasn't really expecting that because this was supposed to be me editing the video, not editing the video. I wanted to just save on the part of editing because it takes a lot of time just to edit these videos. Even if it's just a talking head video, even then it's still been a long way. Congrats on getting to the last day. Well, it hasn't been the last day of my masters, but it is the last day of this academic year. Next year I will be completely finished. इजहार भाई मेरा नाम छोड़ दिया. नहीं भाई, सबका नाम लेने की कोशिश करूँगा, टेंशन ना ले. It's showing that the stream is okay. So most probably you must be hearing things in a fine way. I hope that's the case. Right, and I also put this live chat again, the option, so that you can see what kind of things I'm seeing at my end. Damini Singh, hey, Dhaniram Sahu. So anybody who is actually, should I send more Husky videos to get through the next year then? Alright, so that's Sahana right there. I didn't know that you have such a weird YouTube handle. But any case. And what's the story of the Snoopy thing? I was just checking it out. KP Singh, Sarthak, Usman Afridi. How is everybody doing? Like, so for me, definitely, like yesterday was the last day when I had my presentation. And I see it in the group. So most of the times whenever I'm taking a look in the Facebook group and I'm just seeing, what kind of posts are happening and what kind of things people are talking about, I just find it really interesting that everybody is like really focused towards the next major step and not really thinking about how the masters is going to be when they come here actually. Garvit is asking, Garvit Kumar, say my name. Yes, bhai, bilkul. Saptarshi Bhattacharya, hi Saptarshi, how are you doing? How have the updates been since the last personal session? You play guitar as well? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But again, it's not. Actually, it is nice. I don't play bad, but I don't really get opportunities that often. Nikhil Singh, भाई bachelor's degree रुला रही है. निखिल कहाँ कर रहा है bachelor's? इंडिया में या जर्मनी में? Yeah, so like I said, I just wanted to discuss this fact that it is going to be really different. Many students who come here, for them it is like absolutely a difference of night and day. They think, all right, things are going to be nice. Masters is going to be easy. Well, masters many a times is easy, but the things that you learn, sometimes you learn about how you are actually going to present in the class, how you're going to write the reports and stuff. Today at 10 o'clock, the entire, like 2 hours, I recorded a video with Prini. She was moderator in our Facebook group. So this was our Facebook group, and she used to respond to a lot of messages. So she wrote to me on Instagram and she told me that, this is the last day, and there were a lot of things that I learned during this year of my masters, and how to give proper presentations, how to write project thesis and so on. And this is actually really funny because most of the times you come here and you really do not even observe the facts that The way you give presentations here, it is different. The way you write your reports, you write your seminar thesis or even master thesis afterwards, that is different. So I will ignore the live chat for a while, but just for a while. Well, moderator is here, Mr. Prakash. Whoever gives me the first super chat, he becomes the moderator. Well, yeah. So, all right. I was just kidding right there, not serious. So I'm just going to ignore the super chat for a while and just tell you exactly, what the story has been, how my master's journey has been, and maybe if anybody who is actually watching this stream and he's staying in Germany and he's studying in Germany, I would really invite you to head over to the Facebook group and actually type in your experience, at least what has this year been for you while studying in Germany. So just come here, just write hashtag students, share, and you just post your article, whatever you want to talk about in the Facebook group. Right? So I would be really curious about it. And before we begin in the video, I'm just going to tell you how exactly, what the context is, why I'm making this video today. Back in 2016 when I had no idea, I wasn't on YouTube at all. The YouTube channel I started in January 2017. So till that day, in June 2016 when I came here, it was late June 2016, and things were difficult. I didn't have a job back then, and I definitely wasn't in the masters. It was difficult. So because the first of all, I applied. Now I applied to TUHH, only just one university, and I had no idea that I should be actually applying to a lot of different universities than just one university. So I did make a lot of mistakes, and it was like definitely my share, which you just learn from these kind of mistakes. I applied to one university. I got rejection from that university, and the worst part was that my job was hanging on me getting a part in this study course. So I wanted to study masters in structural engineering in October 2016. So just 2 years back. It hasn't been long. I started the course and I thought everything is going to be perfectly fine because I had interest at that time at structural engineering. I was like, this is fun. I wasn't I never explored YouTube. I never explored doing some kind of online courses or something like that. So till that point of time, I was like, all right, this is interesting. I did my internship at Schleichbergermann Partner in Berlin in 2015, and then I was like, afterwards it is going to be nice. I'll just see how the masters turn out to be, because the end goal was to be able to work in that company. So I started masters, was really fun. On the first day, I tried to talk to a lot of different people, see if I can make some connections there. Didn't really work out. The first week went, it was getting weird because I was the only person who wasn't able to understand German properly. So the professors, they would talk about their lectures and they will tell us their concepts and stuff. And when everybody would be able to understand it, I would be spending most of the time understanding the actual words that he's speaking. So forget about the concepts. I would first focus on the German. So that was how the first 2-3 weeks have been for me. Then afterwards, when 1 month passed, the second month I got into it. I was like, all right, I'm able to understand things and so on. But yeah, slowly it became clear that this wouldn't be something that I would love to do in a longer run, because the job I was doing in the structural engineering company here in Hamburg, it's called WTM Engineers, it was decent. I wouldn't complain too much because that job really helped Alina and I out in the bad days, in the days where things weren't going that well. So yeah, so like that was the first year of my master's, first real year of my master's, 2016. And I still had problems with German. So at the end of the year, I think in January, I had to give the presentation, and that was the first presentation I had to give in German. So it was absolutely crazy. I was just thinking, will it work out at all, or will I just freeze when I go in the front and when I have to give the presentation in front of everybody. The funny part was, because in my group there were supposed to be 3 members, and both of the other 2 members, they were born in Germany. The professor didn't call them for giving the presentation. He specifically called me. So I wasn't that prepared, because I was thinking, like, what are the chances? How unlucky can I be that I have one third of the probability to be actually able to give the presentation. So I was counting on the two-third where the other somebody else would be giving the presentation. Um, and well, it's surprise. I came in the front, and I had to give the presentation, and I almost screwed it up, but the professor was really nice. Professor said you can also speak in English. So in the first presentation that I ever had to give in German, and mind you, I already have the level of B2.2, like I cleared that already, and rather it's C1.1. That was the level I was at that time when I was facing problems in giving the presentation. So yeah, I mean, the professor said, it's completely fine, you can give the presentation also in English. So this is always an advantage when you, as a foreigner, want to do any kind of course or something like that here in Germany. Like, they give some kind of leniency to you, but only in engineering fields. As soon as you come to management, it's completely different. I will talk about it soon. So that was 2016. 2017 started. I already got into making my first video because I was just getting a few messages. And people say I'm getting so many messages on my Facebook or stuff like that. Nobody gets a lot of messages. It's just like, it's a way to cover things up, that hey, I want to make a video, but I don't know what to say about this, why I'm making this video. So let me just say that I'm getting a lot of messages from somebody. That wasn't the case. The main case was I got a few messages. I think 2-3 messages I got from my friends, and they were like, tell me how I can also study my masters in Germany. And I said, all right, let me make a video about it. That might be better. So I did make a video about it. And the funny part was that it was the worst video I ever made. But I didn't make it because I wanted to be a YouTuber. I firstly made it because I thought it could be fun. Let me just try something new, because civil engineering was getting boring for me. There were some different kind of books that you had to use to be able to actually do any kind of civilization calculation for the structural engineering program. You had these Bautabelle, it's called, like the norms. We have the Indian standard norms. That's the exact same thing I used to have here. And exams started, so we gave our first presentation. Afterwards we had to give another presentation. It went really fine. We got 1,3 there, and yeah, exams started. And in the exams I actually completely froze, because I wasn't really sure if I want to do the structural engineering afterwards. The main reason for that was I talked to some of the engineers, I talked to some other professors, and I wanted to know what exactly is it going to be, how exactly is it going to be once I clear the structural engineering part. And they were like, once you're done with structural engineering, it is all just going to be Alina is calling me. Let me just respond to her real quick. Yeah. So I was like, this isn't going to work, because I talked to the engineers who were working in my not in my company, in the company where I was working at. And I was like, how is it for you? Like, what kind of money do you earn, and how is the lifestyle and stuff? And even though it had a lot of flexibility, like if you work as a structural engineer, you have the flexibility to actually just, come a bit early, go a bit early, you can do that. But the funny part is that if you're earning 3,600 euros after doing your masters and after doing your bachelor's, that really isn't something. If you earn 3,600 euros, and to be honest, if you even just calculate how much money you're going to get, and let me do it for you, tax calculator, and like you don't really earn much. Like maybe you earn 2,600 or something when you're earning 3,600, and that too with the tax category 1. So 3,600 is the gross salary, and once all of the deductions are done, you just earn 2,200. That's really not a lot of money. And if you talk about 4,000 euros, well, even then it's 2,400 netto. And if you talk about 4,600 euros, then it's like 2,700. So when you're earning almost 5,000 euros per month, then you would be getting a netto of 2,700. But as a civil engineer, if you're earning just 3,600 euros per month, then it just turns out to be 2,200, which isn't like too much. 1,000 of this is gone. 1,000 of it is gone just directly in your rent most of the times. Another 500-600 could be gone when you just want to get your groceries. You have some other expenses. All of that money is gone right there. So the funny part was, I was just thinking, after studying for so long, after like studying bachelor's for 4 years, and then I do my master's for 2 years, and then afterwards, if I'm just getting 2,200 euros, that's absolutely nothing. That doesn't make sense. And this is the reason I started talking in the university. And the first link when I went to, so I was just looking around what kind of place can I study. So I went to the program, so TUHH programs. I started looking what would I actually love to do, and I went to the degree courses, and I didn't go to the international courses. I rather went to these German language master's program, and then I saw there's actually a lot of choice. What I did was this Bauingenieurwesen, and even Bauingenieurwesen has been reformed. They have actually put 2-3 more courses. So there was harbor, and they also added some traffic and something into that. So that was really nice to know. But when I went through it, I was like, this international management and engineering sounds fun. This could be something that I would love to do. So around, I think it was Feb, and I talked to some psychologists. That's the funny part. Like, you can always talk to some psychologists in the university, and it's all paid for. You can just sit down, you can talk to them about what you would like to do or what you're feeling, and where would you like to go afterwards. So it could be something as easy as, I don't know what I want to do in the future. Or it could be something completely different, and you want to just talk to them if it is going to be possible for me to convert into a different stream. So that's what I did here. I was like, let me just go international management engineering. Sounds fun. Let me go and check it out. And then I just went through all of the program. It sounded really fun because I went through the module handbook, and then I saw there are so many different courses that you can take. Just a second, let me show it to you actually, because this is by far one of the best courses that you can take here. Let me show you the English part. No, this is the Satzung. Like, I wanted the module handbook, but anyways. So I went to the module handbook, I checked all of these things out, and it was fun. And then afterwards, I actually went to the page, I talked to a professor who was in charge of this course, and everything looked really nice. I talked to him, I was like, in this structural engineering part, you're just earning what? Like, you're earning 3,600, and that too just gross salary. So like, once the taxes get cut, you get to 2,200. That's really less. That's not a lot of money, right? So he was like, but that's really less. He said, if you work in management, what you're getting is at least like 4,500 or 4,200 euros. And that is a huge difference when you compare it with what you will earn in structural engineering. And I was like, because at that time, my only motive was to do a job. So I was like, once master's is done, I'm just going to do a job afterwards. And that's pretty much it. Once I had the talk with this professor, and I was like, okay, this is nice. Maybe this course could be something for me. I looked into what kind of modules this course has, what kind of specializations I can do. So it was marketing. I could do marketing. I could do entrepreneurship. I could do sales. I could do corporate finance, and a lot of different things. And I was like, yeah, that's nice. Let me do it, because it had more to do with people. Till that time, I think till February, I already had uploaded 3 videos, and I was getting feedback. I was getting comments from people that this is nice, you can do further, you should do it further, and so on. I was like, okay, that's really interesting. Now, because it's like, until you get feedback for something, you don't really know how you're going to do about that particular thing in the future. So yeah, so like I continued YouTube, and on the sidelines, I actually already thought of shifting to the Internationales Wirtschaftsingenieurwesen, and that's 2017. So like the first real semester of my international management and engineering course. And even though this is really nice, like international management and engineering, the course is really nice, you learn a lot of different things. Like, first of all, you just learn how to talk. You learn how you will talk to some kind of business clients, how you're going to talk in the presentations, how you make better presentations, and so on. So that is really important. Now, that is extremely important to understand that once you're in the management side, once you're in the management field, you're no longer in the technical side, things are going to change. The focus goes completely away from calculations and doing manual stuff to just directly understanding how you can talk, how you have to talk. Like, it goes towards communication, it goes towards, just building your own personality. So like, that's how different the course of management is from the engineering. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to do public speaking. I want to actually, go to events and be able to connect with people and so on. I just want to open up a bit more. And I was like, hey, that's really nice. Let me continue in that. So the first semester started and I learned a lot of things the hard way because I didn't know how to make proper presentations till that time. Like, I did one presentation, but that too in the civil engineering course. And in civil engineering, even though it is a bit important how you're making the presentation, how the format is, it is not that important. So afterwards I thought, all right, let me just do the same in the Masters of International Management and Engineering. I did my first presentation. It was absolutely horrible. And the professor told me that, like, they didn't even select our presentation to bring it on the stage for extra points. So the first semester of this course, of this exact course, International Management and Engineering, it is going to be absolute hell for you. It is going to be difficult because you have to do like 3 different things for one single module to get those 6 ECTS, which you would do like just maybe once. So in a technical field, you might do one assignment or one presentation and you have your 6 ECTS. In management, you have to do 3, 4, 5 different things to be able to get those 6 ECTS. So that was a bit annoying for me. I was like, I just want to get done with this master's and I want to do my own thing. But that wasn't becoming the case. So I learned, of course, like when you don't really have any other choice, what you do is you learn how to do things better. And that's what I did. So the presentations went fine. And then afterwards, I had some homework assignments that went fine. The professors here take a really special care that you are putting all of these references in a proper way. When you're making the presentation, you have the sources under every single image that you're making and so on. And afterwards, in the end, you have to put all of the references again. So like, you just learn these things, and then afterwards I had the project seminar. The project seminar is more like a mini seminar thesis, a mini master thesis that you have to do. And the literature review and the hypothesis making and thinking what kind of research methods you want to put and how you make a summary, how you make the critical analysis of whatever article you are taking up. So all of these things are really important, and I learned that part again in the masters itself. So like, the moral of the story is, even though many of you think that, like, I just go to Germany, I do my masters and I'm done with that and I can get a job afterwards, I would really suggest you to actually use these 2 years of your life properly, because once these 2 years are gone, this learning buffer that you have, this kind of comfort time that you have for yourself, where you can still care less about paying the bills and earning food for your family, and you can focus more on just learning, that is going to pay you off a lot. Like, the skills that you can learn, not just in the technical side, but also as a person. You grow as a person. You learn how to manage different people from different countries in a team. So how you communicate, how you actually lead the team and so on. And I would really highly advise you not to like stay quiet in any kind of group works that you're having or any kind of seminars that you're having, because staying quiet doesn't take you anywhere. And I know, like, I've seen many fellow students myself who are just seeing that, yes, it is hurting me to stay quiet, and it is hurting me that I'm not speaking up in the lectures or in the exams or anything like that, but they're still unable to change it. And most of this is somehow connected to how we are taught in our Indian education system. There, if you speak against your professor, you are done. If you speak against your teacher, you're done. If you ask them questions, you're done. So, of course, there's like some kind of fear that we already have that, hey, we absolutely cannot ask questions. We cannot talk to different people from different countries or something because I don't know, they might think bad about us or whatsoever. Like, there are a lot of insecurities, at least I had them and I had to overcome. It took a lot of time, but it was like definitely worth it. Yeah, so like this is something you have to absolutely understand, that you are here not just to like, get your master's degree. You don't, with the degree, with the certificate, you wouldn't be able to do anything other than just getting an entry ticket to the job market. That is like really the essence of the master's degree. You have the free ticket, not the free ticket. You actually paid for it. You worked hard for it. You have the entry ticket for the job market. You can do good jobs afterwards. For good part, you actually need to learn German again. So like that's a different story too. So yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like you have the degree as the ticket, but to be able to get a good job, then comes the story that you have to be able to persuade somebody. You have to be able to encourage the other person. And that is really essentially what I learned. I just learned from different people how they make presentations, how they do different tasks, because I see somebody who is really good at making slides, who is really good at graphic designing and stuff, and I see somebody else who is just really good at writing. And just try to connect to as many people as you can. And even though you don't make friends, even if you don't make a lot of friends during your masters, because trust me, nobody comes for masters just to make friends. That's really absolutely not the case. Nah, nobody comes to masters to make friends. All they do is they come here, they hang out, they are frank, and they are just friendly with you, or like they just try to get along for these 4 semesters. Not even 4 semesters, it's like most of the times just 2 semesters. Once you are done in your masters for 2 semesters, you can already think that the masters is getting over really soon, even though it doesn't look like it. First semester is generally the compulsory semester. Second semester you have maybe 1 or 2 compulsory courses. Third semester could be your foreign semester. And then afterwards, once the foreign semester is done, what is left for you is essentially just the master thesis. So people don't really invest so much time in making friends, making lifelong friends or something like that, because to be honest, it is just impractical. And you will also see that you will see the difference in the way you are going to behave with your own people than like you will be behaved to by the international people, because for them the priorities are clear. For some of us it might still be that, hey, we are abroad, we want to make friends, or we need to make friends, and I completely understand it and I respect it. But yeah, like it's just different. Like making friends is not the priority. The priority is to be able to grow as a person, to be able to learn how to communicate, how to give presentations. And I'm telling you, anybody who is not good at giving presentations, who is not good at asking questions, the masters, or even if you're in your bachelor's right now, this is the time to practice. Because once you are in your once you're in your field, once you start doing a job, there wouldn't be any scoring system, right? There isn't going to be, hey, am I going to get 50 out of 100 or 60 out of 100 or 80 out of 100 whatsoever. The scoring system is going to be, will you have your job or will you get fired? So like that's how black and white it is going to be. Like, all right, you perform bad in one presentation, maybe it doesn't disturb a lot of people. You perform bad in another presentation, it might not again disturb a lot of people. But if you keep doing that, because you didn't learn anything in the masters, you didn't learn how to give presentations, you didn't learn how to be confident, you didn't learn how to actually give put strong questions, or even just like normal and simple questions, that is going to show up when you start doing your job. And that's that's really not a nice thing. So like just try to understand and try to avoid that. Try to avoid this kind of situation. Just in these 2 years, really just completely focus not just on your degree, also focus on the soft skills, because that is really absolutely important. I would just advise it to every single body. I understand, you know, like many of you might not take this part seriously. You just want to come here and you want to start studying. And yes, like that's important. But to be able to use all of the opportunities that you have once you're here, it is important that you also put a lot of focus in how you're actually going to give presentations, how you're going to write reports, and so on. So I know now you guys are here. Let me just take up some of your questions too, and then I'm going to end this video because I didn't want it to go through all of the effort of, you know, just editing the video and so on, because I just don't feel really in the mood right now to edit such long videos. I recorded the video with Prini, didn't work out, and I was like, you know, let me just share this thing right here with you guys. So whoever has questions now, you start shooting for the next 10 minutes. So Dinesh is asking, some uni has pre-check. Guess TUHH, they just ask for CGPA and reject the profile. My overall profile is good, but CGPA is just 7.3. How do I bypass or get through this? Please speak about pre-check. So Dinesh, there is really not going around this or like bypassing this, because TUHH is really specific that they are not going to take any person who has below 8.0 CGPA. So this is something I would want you to understand and also just like relate properly, because if I show you this database that I have, and if you look at mechanical engineering, you will see TUHH only starts showing up. So this is the third column is your bachelor score. TUHH only starts showing up after, just a second, yeah, after 8 or something. After 8, you see the first university from which you get an admit is TUHH, so 8.06. Before that, you don't see any university which is showing TUHH, because TUHH has a strict guideline that you wouldn't be given admission if you have below 8.0 CGPA. So that is something really important and something you should understand. And Umair Javed is asking, are private universities good for masters? So no, private universities are good for masters in some cases. So if you have a university like SRH, or even if you have some paid courses in public universities, like RWTH has so many paid courses, those are good universities, and like those are good courses in the sense that yes, you will get something out of it and you will be able to use it afterwards in your field. I wouldn't go to universities like GISMA or this IUBH or I don't know, some other universities. Even Jacobs University is told to be a nice university, right? So just really take care. First of all, the priority always should be the course and not the university. So like focus on the course and never focus on the university, because that is really the essence. Like if you get into a course which you would love to do, you would be able to actually go through it. You will be able to go through the entire course without thinking twice if you actually like the course or not. Nah? Because as soon as you get this hint of doubt that, you know, maybe I don't like this course, then things start going downhill. So just like absolutely make sure that the course that you want to attend, it is your first priority. That first comes the course, second comes the university, and then again this third comes your city, what kind of city you want to apply to. Umangala is asking, hey Bharat, my college is autonomous, so I get my transcripts from college and not from university. I went to University of Mumbai, but they cannot help me. What should I do? Umang, I don't know if you can do anything there then. Like, to be honest, the only thing you can do is you can ask the university, you can request them. But in case of this thing, like in case, like if they're not giving any kind of if the main university is not supporting you in any case, then you can write to your target university. You can tell them that this is the situation I'm facing right now, and I don't think you can do anything there. Like what you can do is you can submit the transcripts of your own college, and most of the times it could work out fine. So Sumit Kumar is saying, sir, I am from IIT ISM Dhanbad. I want to pursue MS from Germany in mechanical engineering. Is it necessary to learn German? No, Sumit, you should watch my previous videos. I've explained it a lot of times. It's not necessary to learn German, but it is important that you learn German, that you at least come to Germany with the level of B1 if you want to make the most out of your stay here. I wouldn't be the guy who will tell you that you don't need German to come here. That's absolutely like, yeah. I wanted to say the word which wouldn't really fit, but that's like really stupid. You just do not think that, hey, I will come to Germany and I wouldn't learn German and I would get by. Yes, you can get by, but imagine a foreigner who is in India, and even though we can speak English, but wouldn't you appreciate it more if he could speak Hindi, and wouldn't he have better job chances in more um, personal fields where you have to talk to people and so on if he knows Hindi? So like, just understand about these things. These are really important. If you are not coming with the German proficiency with you, it is just going to be disadvantageous for you. Tech Solutions is asking, I have a project in BCA 6th semester. Can I write it in my SOP or ignore it as it is part of the syllabus? So Tech Solution, it's really based on what kind of story you are going for. So if you're going for something where you talk about, so here I start with the SOP, you talk about what kind of motivations you had or what your backstory is, where you're coming from, what sparked your interest in this particular field. And if you go down with that and you see that the project work that you fit actually fits inside the story very nicely and it doesn't look forced, then I would definitely put it there. So like, there's nothing like you shouldn't put it there, but you should also make sure that your SOP doesn't start sounding like a CV, because CV has a specific purpose to fulfill and SOP serves an entirely different purpose. So like, make sure of that. Alright, so Ajay Yadav is asking, please answer. Hey Bharat, I am from your online course. I have one question. I am preparing for German course. I'm preparing for German taught master's program, winter semester 2019. Will I get conditional admit into TUHH or any if my B1 is completed by 30th March? So Ajay, no, you wouldn't get any of those even privileges. You wouldn't be given that. But if you are able to learn B2, now if you're able to learn you're able to complete B1 till March 30th, that's really nice. So in that case, first of all, let me just check how much syllabus did you complete. So yeah, in that case, it is very clearly written Sprachkenntnisse, and I will show you that. TUHH says that if you have B2.2, and let me put it in English, if you have B2.2, you can apply. Now you can apply to the university, and the application date is again what? 15th July. So that is your application deadline. So till that time, you need to have the B2.2. And then afterwards, for the enrollment, you need to give either of these certificates. So either you have the Deutsch C1 Hochschule. Wouldn't really suggest that, but I would have given it. So like, I already paid the exam for this particular, I already paid the money for this particular exam, but till that time, I did the re-evaluation for the test of exam, and I got an average of 4 grades. So I got 17 points in total, and it worked out. Or you need to have the C2 exam from Goethe. So till the application, yes, you can come to TUHH if you have B2.2 till July 15th, right? So like, make sure of that. And if you are unsure, that you can also check the Goethe courses, Goethe exam. So Goethe exam, I think it's in May, end of May. There's a B2 exam. You can write that, and they will give you the result, I think, around in starting of July. So even though it's really, really tight, but you don't have any other choice then. If you want to come in this exact intake, then I would definitely go for that way and just directly write the exam. And just send the copies. It will just take 3 days, not more than that, to send all the copies to TUHH. But the nice part is that TUHH doesn't require you to send any kind of documents in hand. So it used to be the case when I applied, but now the case is not there anymore. You just have to put your application on the online portal, which is really nice, right? So like, you don't have to do any kind of paperwork there. Just fill out the application, put your German certificate inside, and your application will be considered. The next problem might come where I received a problem that the ECTS are missing, right? So like, that could be something, but we can like really work on the Widerspruch afterwards, and then you can have your admit. So I'm really curious, Ajay. I think I remember you just took the course recently. Um, Ajay Yadav. Yeah, so there are a lot of. Anyways, if somebody is interested in coming for the course too, in my online course, you're free to join. And also, Ajay, another important thing, we have the exclusive live Q&A on Sunday. So at Sunday at 9 a.m. you should be prepared. So that is like really really important. So Atharv Musle is asking, is it hard to get a blue card? So it isn't essentially hard, but I have made a video about it. Feel free to check it out. So with those out of the way, I would love to have you follow me on Instagram because I post a lot of important updates there. Nah? But again, so this was something something that I just wanted to put out there, and I just wanted to let you know that this is how the masters is going to be. So maybe you take some inspiration out of it, and maybe you plan your goals better in that case. Anybody who is here, who is actually studying, like I said, I would love to have you here in my Facebook group and write your experience of how the masters has been for you with the hashtag students share. All right, do that. I'm looking forward to your responses in the group, and have a really nice holidays. Merry Christmas, that's coming soon, and a really nice slide in the new year. Alright then guys, thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks a lot for watching the video. I'll see you some other time. Bye.